Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
Yesterday, we have seen about Okta administrators. In that you have a query on resources, I have marked it. I'll add content for that specifically and I will update you. The remaining things, customization in Okta. Appearance customization, end user dashboard customization, and how we can edit the email for those things that we have seen last session. And we have touched base upon the Okta users types also. What is Okta users type? How many Okta users types that supports in Okta? Those things that we have seen. Let's see in more detail on that. Yesterday we have covered this. You have any queries on this? It's clear. Let's see in detail what it says. Here you can see in the top side right. It's a type of accounts in Okta that we are going to manage. Okta accounts directory, mastered account. It can be LDAP directory or it can be Active Directory accounts. And any application account. It's not related to HR, but we can take HR application account. Which means whenever the accounts are getting created in Workday or any HR portal, automatically it will provision in Okta. That account, we will call it as application mastered account. That is clear, right? In the left side, you can see from where those profiles are managed. Profiles managed in the sense the LCMN lifecycle management. And let's say, for example, attribute updates for that user account. If you want to update the first name and last name, where you can do it. Those things that will come under profile managed by. Authenticated by. What is authenticated by? Where the authentication is taking place for the accounts. For example, for Okta accounts, where authentication will take place. For 8D accounts, where authentication will take place. Likewise, we will see. Then the final one is credential store. Credential store is nothing but a store where we will store the passwords. For Okta accounts, where will be the credential stores. For AD accounts, where will be the credential stores. Likewise, we can see. The first thing right. Okta, the profile is managed by Okta, which means whenever you are creating an account in Okta, you can manage that account in Okta, which means you can update first name, last name, manager, attribute. You can add user to the group, remove user from the group. Everything is possible only for Okta users. And for AD users, AD account, AD mastered accounts, the profile will be managed only by directory, which means you can only add user. So, only you can add or update the first name, last name from directory. You cannot update first name, last name, location, attribute manager, attribute from Okta. Inside Okta, you cannot edit it. You can only edit it from Active Directory and that will be replicated in Okta. Once it is updated in Active Directory, it will be pushed to Okta. That is a thing. But the profile can be managed, profile can be updated, profile can be changed, profile can be created and deleted only at the source, which is Active Directory here. And same for application mastered accounts. For application mastered account, the account can be managed only from the application. Let's say, for example, you have Workday account. The HR account which can be created and maintained only at the workday. Okta is just a receiver. Whenever the first name is getting updated in Workday, automatically Okta's first name, Okta's account's first name will also be updated. Last name, same thing for all the profiles, that profile attributes that we are managing for that account. The next one is authenticated. What is authentication? Where this account authentication is nothing, but where the account's passwords are stored. Let's say, for example, you are storing a password in a directory. The authentication will go and takes place only at the directory, not anywhere else. If you are storing the user account and password in Okta, authentication will happen in Okta. Let's say if you're storing some password in, for example, I'm saying has been stored in some database. The authentication will happen at database. Same. In Okta if you are creating an Okta account, Okta mastered account, the password will be stored in Okta. The authentication takes place in Okta. Same thing for directory. Directory mastered accounts. The account has been created in directory or LDAP directory or Active Directory. The password has been stored there and the authentication will happen only the directory or Active Directory end. It will not happen in Okta. Okta will be just like a mediator or just in like a handshaking, mediator kind of thing. In the middle who will be sitting. He will take the password. OKL will take the password and go to Active Directory, validate the user ID and password. Again it come back to the Okta saying that it is success. Okta will not do the authentication for LDAP users or AD users. Directory mastered users, simple as that. For what they write. For their application mastered account, you can define whether you want to make or you want to maintain the authentication from Okta. Or you can say like the authentication can happen from the directory, whichever the directory. I will tell you the scenario, how it happens, right? Let's say, for example, you have a directory, external directory, LDAP directory or Active Directory. Let me show you in this way that you will get it clear. This is HR portal. This is Okta. This is E. What you can do is, whenever the account is getting created from HR portal, you can directly import that accounts in Okta. And from Okta, you can push that account to Active Directory. Earlier, we have seen a different scenario, right? HR will be integrating with IDM. ID will be integrating with AD. AD will be integrating with Okta. But this architecture is also possible, which I have missed. Maybe I need to add in that slide. I will add it. HR, once the account has been created in Okta, it's an HR mastered account. Application mastered account. But Okta, what it can do is it can push that accounts to Active Directory also. That account, user ID and password can be stored and maintained here in Active Directory or it can be maintained in Okta. Both the ways are possible. That's what here it says. It can be maintained in directory or Okta. Here you are saying like, I don't want this, a D. I don't want this, a D. I am just importing the HR accounts, application accounts created in Okta and store the password here. Authentication to be done from Okta side. That is fine. That is one scenario. The second scenario is HR can create an account in Okta. Okta can push that account to Active Directory. The password will be also created from Okta to AD and the password will be stored here. For these accounts, once it is stored for those accounts, authentication will take space in Active Directory. Is it clear? That's why here they have mentioned it. As for application mastered account, it can be either directory or it can be either Okta. Both are possible. It's not like you can only maintain in Okta. It's not like that. You can do both the ways. Credential store, where the credentials has been stored for Okta mastered accounts. It is stored in Okta. And Okta have that credential store. Like for example, while creating an user account, you are saving the password for that user, right? Where that password cannot be stored as just like another attribute like first name, last name. It should be stored in some encrypted value or some highly secured value. Like because if anything happens, right, it should be protected. They will encrypt it and they will store it. The place where they are storing it, they will call it as credential store. That is available in Okta for Okta mastered users. But for AAD users, it will be only in the Active Directory. That's why they have mentioned credential stores available is or not. But for application mastered account, the account creation will be the only progress that application can handle. It cannot handle the passwords. It cannot store the password securely. Of course you can do, but it's not a secured way and it's not a unique way. See, I said earlier, right? In legacy mechanism, all the users will be having, let's say, 20 applications. You have access. What we will do is our 20 application team will create your I individually and 20 user ID, 20 password may come for you. That's how it was maintained earlier. But later on they wanted to maintain user ID and password only in one place, where it will be in directory or it can be in Okta. In either way, like as of now, it comes with Okta. We can store it in Okta also. Likewise, there is an option for it. We should avoid storing the password in application. And in application, write the end application like HR or any other NetSuite, any other application. They don't have the credential store to save the password securely. That will be managed only by the IDT managers like C Identity Manager, Okta, Active Directory, something. Tools that is available for specifically for IAM. All the applications doesn't support that credential store feature to store the password securely. That's why they are mentioning like no credential store should be there for application mastered accounts. It should be maintained either in LDAP directory or any directory, or it should be maintained in Okta. Here you can see in this authentication place where it is happening. Is it clear? This is regarding to the type of users that is available specific to Okta. Whatever the user type that is getting created, whatever the account that is getting created in Okta, right? These are the types that will be created in Okta. No other types will be there, but there are subdivision. I will tell you. For example, in Active Directory, you may create some service account. You may create some non-functional or bot accounts. That is a different, but how that account is sourced. That's what matters here. Same thing in Okta, you can create user account. You can create contractors account, but that's an account that is sourced only by Okta. That is what they are trying to say here. I will I will let you know how to create multiple types of user account in Okta. That is fine. I will show you that. No worries. These are the types that we are going to manage from Okta. In terms of user accounts, let's see about groups now. Same thing. How we have seen for the user accounts, right? Same categorization for groups. One is Okta Master Group. Second one is Directory Master Group. And the third one is Application Master Group. Here is the definition for Okta, right? Okta groups are created and membership is managed in Okta. Same thing. You are creating an account in Okta, right? For Okta Master user. And you are maintaining that accounts inside Okta itself. You can do it. Same thing for Okta groups. You can create a group. You can manage the membership. You can edit that group name. Everything can be achieved for Okta Master Group from Okta itself. Only Okta Group can contain Okta directory and application source users. That I will tell you. You don't need to get confused with that. I have a differentiation table for that. I will show you. Second type is Directory Master Group. What is Directory Master Group? It's a group that has been created and maintained and membership has been updated at the directory end. What you cannot do is you cannot add user to the Directory Master Group. You cannot remove user to the Directory Master Group. Whenever the groups has been created at Active Directory, that group can be imported to Okta. But you cannot do any changes to that group, AD group or LDAP group, whatever the directory it is. You cannot do any changes. At the same time, you can only add and remove you. You cannot add or remove anything, but you can only maintain the Active Directory user or LDAP directory user in that group. Directory Master Group. You cannot add Okta Master Group to the directory group. Here you can see user addition, user removal. Action that we are performing in that group. Here is the type of group. For example, Okta user and the Okta group. You can add user to Okta group. You can remove from Okta group. Let's take an example. D group. This AD user can be added to AD group. From where? From directory end. And also you can remove AD user from AD group. From where? It should be from the directory, not from Okta. Let's say, for example, there is an Okta user. There is an AD group. Can you add Okta user to the AD group? Both are not possible. Let's say there is an AD user. There is an Okta group. Can you add AD user to the Okta group? You can do. You can remove also. Is it clear? Is it confusing? Okta user AD group. That means what? CAD group that is coming from AD, right? You can add or remove only AD users there. Not even you can add. Only whatever the membership that is getting updated at AD, that can only be reflected in this Okta Console. You cannot change anything. It's as simple as that. AD group, you cannot touch anything. You cannot edit. You cannot add user. You cannot remove user. Nothing. Even you cannot add Okta user. Okta only user. I'm saying Okta mastered user to AD group. No, you cannot do it. Whatever that happens at AD end, that will be just replicated in Okta as a read-only mode. You cannot edit anything at all. But let's say, for example, AD user. There is a user that has been managed by AD. That can be added to the Okta group that we are creating. We are creating an Okta group inside Okta, right? That group can be added with AD users. That's what it mentioned. Okta user, Okta group, no issues. You can add, you can remove, no issues. Add user to AD group that can be added. I mean not from Okta side, but it can be added from the directory side. You got it right. Directory team or A team or IDM team will add that user to the group, remove user from that group, and that will be replicated to Okta. No issue. The third scenario, Okta user AD group. AD group, you cannot add to any of the user. Simple as that. You cannot add, you cannot remove any user. Not only Okta user, even AD user you cannot add. But that happens only at the Active Directory end. Same for vice versa. Like AD user can be added to the AD group. Opposed to that, any queries, any questions, any confusions on this, you will explore it like you will whenever you are working on it, right? If you go and search AD group and open that AD group, you will not be having an option to add user, assign user, nothing. You cannot do anything. You can just only view it. That's it. You are clear with this, right? The type of groups. The same thing I have given in this, explanation way. Groups, like whenever you are working on a real time, right? You will be getting this option. Like if you search Active Directory group and you don't have an option to assign users. But if you search Okta group, right? You can assign people. You can assign Okta user. You can assign AD user. You can assign application user also. Everything is possible for Okta group. But for directory group, there is a restriction. Same thing. And application master group site, those groups will be created and maintained in the application and in the beginning. What you are going to do is you are going to pull those groups from application to Okta. That's what it says. Application groups are created and membership is managed in the applications. And that replications can be pulled into Okta during that application integration. That you can. It's like a replication. You can download it or you can sync it with Okta. What else? Application connectors deactivated. There is a connection, right? I said the replication that happens from application to Okta. If that connection stops or that connections, got breakdown, something that happens. Then the group will be removed from Okta automatically. We wanted to see, basically, we will not use this application master group to be specific. I say just an option, but you can use it. It's like that only. Most of the organization, I have really worked on 4 to 5 organizations right now. No one used this. No one uses application master group. You don't need to worry about that much. But yes, there is an option that you can maintain the application groups that is created and maintained in that application, that you can pull it to the Okta. You can maintain it from here also. That is possible. And let's see how we can create. Go to directory under groups. You'll be having an option to add group. Let's say Salesforce. There will be some naming convention. Each and every organization will follow. Let's say, for example, some organization like we will name it as Okta -app -Salesforce. And we will mention like admin. This is the Okta master group. This is an application group and it's a Salesforce application group. In that Salesforce, this group has been created for admins only group. You can mention the description same here and you can create another group saying that Okta -app Salesforce -read only admin. Likewise, this group is specific to read-only. Read-only admin uses group. Likewise, you can create based on your organization's naming convention. There will be a naming convention for sure, because we cannot just like that create whatever that comes during the creation. Right. They will make sure that there should be some naming convention followed to all the organizations. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.